In this CSS video tutorial, we're going to learn about CSS animation. Animation in CSS help us add moving effects to our objects without touching JavaScript. We're going to create this little animation, the one you're seeing on your screen right now. So I'm going to be teaching you step by step how to do that. And at the end of this video, you get comfortable working with animations. With that being said, let's go ahead and create animations. Here I have my HTML file with the basic HTML code. I also have my CSS file here, and these files are connected. In my HTML file, I have h2 with CSS animation, and below I'm going to create a div container. So I'll put div and then put container. Inside this container, we're going to have 3 boxes. My first box, I'm going to give it box 1. And then I'll put text inside it. So animate me, and then I'll duplicate them, making them 3 like this. I'll change my second class to box 2 and then box 3. Let's go to CSS and target box 1. So all I need to do is to put dot box 1 like this, and then we're going to assign height and width to box 1. So height 180 pixels, and then width 180 pixels. Next, I'll give my box background color. So I'll put background color, and then I want to give it red like this. And then next, I'm going to give it position relative. So position relative. Now we are giving position relative because this will help us animate our box. Okay, we are going to have other things beneath here that will be directly related to this particular box. So we need to put position relative. Okay, position relative. Now let's talk about animation. So we're going to give this box animation properties. The first property we will give into this box is animation name. Your animation must have a name, so animation name, we'll leave it empty. We come down, and the next we have animation duration. Okay, I'll talk to you or I'll explain these properties, but for now just bear with me. So we have animation duration, we have animation delay, animation delay, we have animation timing function, we have animation iteration count, and we have animation direction. And these are some basic animation properties in CSS. Okay, there are several of them, but in this video we're going to be we're going to be looking at these properties. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how these properties work in CSS. So before that, animation works hand in hand with keyframes. Okay, keyframes. So you put at keyframes like this. Add keyframe in CSS animation helps us specify what properties should be animated. It defines the various stages of our animation throughout the entire lifespan of the animation. This might not make a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and continue looking at keyframe. So with keyframe, you put the name of the animation. So that's where what you specify here. So animation name, I'll put animate box 1. That's the name of my animation, and then I will pass it here. So I'll put the name of my animation, which is on top here, which is animate box 1, like this. After that, you put parentheses there, and then next you need to specify the start of your animation and the ending of your animation. So this is where you specify that the starting and the ending of your animation. So all you need to do is you put from, okay, from like this, and then you also have to like this. Okay, so this is what happens from at the beginning of the animation, and then what happens when it gets to the ending of the animation. Okay, so let's go to our web browser and then check our work progress. So I'll take you to my web browser, and then this is our box. All right, our first box, box 1 is here. What I will do is I will change this to box 1 so that we can read or understand. Okay, so I'll get box 1 here, and then box 2, and then put box 3 like this. Good. So now, and we have box 1, box 2, and box 3. Let's see how we can animate box 1. So I'll take you back to CSS, and then we have our box 1 here, and we give it an animation name called animate box 1, and this is where we pass that name, okay, at the keyframe animate box 1. So from, we're going to change the background color. So change background color from what? Let's put aqua, and then to, we put another background color to what? Yellow, like this. After we specify our keyframes, we need to give it duration. So let's put something like 4 seconds duration. If you want, you can assign a delay here, so maybe 1 second delay before animation will start. So for now, we're looking at 4 properties: animation name, animation duration, and animation delay. So let's go back to our web browser, reload this page. Now, as you can see, our box is animating, changing colors. Okay, changing colors. Now, what if we want to assign more colors to our animation? That's where percentages come in. So with this, you can put 0%, 0%, and then in between you put something like 25%, and you assign your colors. So background color to red, then we continue moving 50% like this, and again you put your background colors, put violet here, and maybe let's say 100%. So this is the ending of our animation, 100%, and this is our background. So this is the lifespan of your animation, starting from 0%. What should happen? 25%, 50%, all the way to 100%. You can be more specific by assigning most percentages if only you want to add more colors. That's why percentages is very important when it comes to animation. Okay, so now let's go to our animation and then reload, and it's going to animate that way. Okay, and this is a duration of 4 seconds. All right, let's talk about other animation properties like animation timing function, which specifies the speed of your animation. So here you can have ease, which is a smooth animation, and then we have ease in, out, and ease out. We have linear, we have linear, we have linear as a timing function in animation. Let's talk about animation iteration count, and this talks about the number of times an animation should run. We have starting from 1, so this animation will run only once and stop. You can see it has stopped. If you put 2, it's going to run twice and stop. And as you can see, you put 3, and then we also have infinite or infinite. It's an infinite animation, meaning your animation is going to run forever. This is infinite, right? Now let's talk about animation duration. Before I can explain animation duration, let's go ahead and then add some moving effects to our so I'm only going to add that to the start and the end of my animation. So I'm going to put something like top position 0 pixel, and then I have left, and my animation is going to run from left to right. So left should be something like, let's say 100 pixels. Okay, so let's maintain it as 0 pixel. So from the beginning, animation will not run, but 100% is going to run. So what I'll do is I'll come down here, which is the 100%, and then I'm going to give it the same top and left. So I'll just copy my code here, and then I'll paste it beneath and paste it here. After that, the top is going to be 100 pixel. That means it's going to remain on top, and then here I'm going to give it 200 pixel. So my animation is going to run from left to right. Let me reload my page. You can see my animation is running from left to right by 200 pixels. Okay, and because it is infinite or infinite, let me take you back there and show you what I'm talking about. Good, because I have infinite there, you can see the animation is running automatically, and then you can go ahead and change your timing function to ease like this. Now let's talk about animation direction, and this specifies the direction of your animation. You can have normal, and then you can also have alternate. That means your animation is going to run forward, move backwards, and run forward again. That's alternate. And then, as you can see, it's running forward, backwards, forward. That's how it's running. You can see that. They'll move forward and come back, move forward and then come back. That's alternate direction. And then we have a reverse direction. So you can put alternate reverse here, like this. Okay, so that's animation direction. Now let's go ahead and work on achieve what we have on our screen by first of all rotating our objects, flipping our objects, and then scaling it. So let's go ahead and find out how that is done. Let's change the direction to normal. And now let's scroll down and work on our first box. But first, let's increase the font width of our text. So here we put font, we put width, and then let's put bold. We're going to align our text, or font align, sorry, text align, and then we'll put center, and finally line height, line height. We want our line height to be the same as the height of our box, so just put 180 pixels there. Now let's go ahead and work on our first box by rotating it. So whenever our box reaches 100%, we want to transform our box. So let's come down and put transform. So we want to transform our box on what? Rotate. We have rotate X and rotate Y. So let's go ahead and rotate it on X by 360 pixels, sorry, degree. And our box, anytime it reaches 300% of the lifespan of each animation, is going to rotate 360. But before that, let's go ahead and then make sure we remove the moving effect on the box. We don't want our box to continue moving like this. So now, and in order to make our code look nice, I'm just going to leave some spaces like this so that we can easily read it. Let's go back to our browser, and then I'll take you to here and then reload the page. And now this is our box, and it is rotating on the X axis. Let's go ahead and remove that and rather put Y axis there. So I'm just going to remove this and put Y axis so that it can rotate on its Y axis, just like the one we have here. Okay, there are three types of movement. We have moving on its Y axis, X axis, and then we also have rotation on Z. So let's change it on Z and see what happens. So all I need to do is to go back to my code editor, take you there, and then scroll down, and instead of rotate Y, you can now put rotate Z like this, and then we'll go back there and check, and now it is rotating on Z. So this Z rotate Z. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on our second box Our second box has a class name called box2. So I'll first of all copy whatever code that I have for box1. Just copy it and then go beneath, and then I can pass a comment here like this and say this is for what, box2, like this, and then I'll come beneath and then paste my code like this. Now I'm going to change my animation name as well as my class. So with the class, I'll put 2 here, and then I'll maintain its properties, but the animation name, I'm going to change it to smart. So it's going to be smart cube is the name of my animation. Also make sure you have the same name here, which is smart cube here. And then let's go to our demo and see what that box is, how it looks like. And that box scales. Okay, so I'm going to work on scale, which is here. So we go back there, and then we can maintain the same keyframes, and then we get to this part. Now this part we're going to scale it. So we'll put scale. So just put scale like this, and then we remove the degree and put 0.5 and then comma 0.5. Then now let's go to our browser and check, and now we have a scale of 0.5, 0.5. Let's continue working on our third box. Again, I'll come down, and all I need to do is I can put my comment. So I'll comment here like this, and then I'll say box 3. So box 3, and then simply paste my code here. The only changes I have to make is to change my class to 3, the same properties, but I'll change my my animation name to something like maybe cube. I'll also change it here to what, cube. Then I can maintain my keyframes, but in this video I'm going to have only 2 keyframes, start and end. So I'll remove 25 and then 50 from it like this, and then I'll change my color from, so here will rather be yellow, and then here will be what, green like this. And then because there are 2, I'll put from here. So this is another way of doing it. So from, and then we have 2. Now the final thing we need to do is to change this to Y 360 degree. Now let's go there, and you can see how it looks. Now one last thing we need to do is to display them flex so that they will be in a horizontal line, and we have a class called container. So I'll just take my container and I can send it to the top. Here, and then come down, and then I'll put container like this, and then I'm going to display flex display flex. Now check. See, it looks similar to our demo. Okay, so guys, that is it. That is what you need to know about animation. All right, it's all about learning. If you're able to learn, you'll be able to master it. Coding is all about learning. Okay, guys, so that's it. See you in my next episode, where we're going to be talking about framework, CSS framework, and we'll be dealing with Bootstrap. And after that, we say bye bye to CSS. Take care.